Today, I'm going to share how a member is killing it with his sales agency, focusing on just one niche, having multiple sales conversations a day, and he just landed a $3,500 retainer plus a $1,000 system build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build him the system live. For context, this falls under what I like to call the first client reward. Whenever a member makes their first sale with this business model, I hop on a call with them and basically help them deliver the project. And I usually just record these to give you guys value in case you are wondering what actually happens after you make your first sale to get up and running yourself. So let's get into it. Tech recruitment client closed $1K upfront plus a retainer ranging from $2.5K all the way to $3.5K per month. After quite a bit of time going through different models, offering trials and switching from niche to niche, classic, right? Over the past month, I decided to focus on recruitment. I have a recruitment campaign running over the past month that's given me around 5 to 7 client meetings a week. I had to rush up on my sales skills because my close rate was terrible. Totally normal. Maybe you are watching this and let's say you don't have, you're not really good at sales. Totally normal. Usually the first few are not going to be the best, right? So the goal is not to close, but just get there and go with the flow, understand kind of the mechanics, and basically just gain experience as you go, right? My first sales conversation was absolutely terrible. But after usually those 3 or 4, everything becomes normal, right? I realized I wasn't qualifying the recruiter as well. So I had to blur this because that's obviously how he got his client. And it's just me respecting his privacy, right? Now my calls are going a lot better and I close a tech recruiter for $1K upfront. Everything is going great right now. Also have 5 calls a day. Yeah, man, this really reminds me of those old scaling days. And this is where you get momentum. You'll have multiple sales conversation a day and you get to brush up your skills. You become unstoppable, right? Back then, I would have a call every 1 hour, right? These were really, really good times now that I'm really thinking about it. This is really when you actually scale and you experience that beautiful feeling of success, right? You're having multiple sales conversations, you're sending the proposal, getting paid, right? You're having your meal and there's the new payment that's coming and you have another sales conversation after your meal. So you're trying to eat quickly. So it's very, very, very good times, right? You're out there building an internet business. You're getting people to pay you money from different countries and you're all doing it, right? In your pajamas, right? Maybe, but maybe you're just wearing shorts and you're getting paid for a service that you're providing, right? Which is sales systems and building and selling sales systems to companies, right? And that's the beauty about operating an internet business, right? Is that you get to work from everywhere, right? Anywhere. You don't have to work a 9 to 5. You don't have to wake up early to do all this stuff. You just decide when to work, who to work with, right? And you also get to paid a ton of money, which is the reason why we start an internet business, because we will have the ability to control our destiny and control our income and basically do whatever we want, right? 3 or 4 more second calls lined up in a great pipeline. That's the life, right? So hopefully if I can achieve and keep a 20% close rate, we should be closing a client every week or so. Now it's on to fulfillment. Thank you, Saad. No worries, my friend. I totally deserve it, right? You put in the work. Obviously, you deserve the fruit. So if you haven't noticed yet, well, he closed his clients within the recruitment niche. Like I always say, recruitment is one of the best niches to go for. Now that you're all watching this, you wonder what niche to go for recruitment. You have my blessing. And every 6 months I say it because it's one of those peculiar, weird niches where there's no saturation, right? Because companies are always hiring, right? Companies are always hiring. There's a new startup every single day. So it's one of those niches where saturation just doesn't exist, right? So essentially his client is a recruitment agency, right? That places sales and marketing people in tech companies. Well, what do they want? Well, they want a system that connects them with these tech companies. What he's going to do? Well, he's going to build them a system that does that as a connector, which is pure connector model. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and scope out a project. As always, I'm going to show you guys a cool platform that we're going to be using to kind of find these companies, right? And we're going to build a system that automates this at scale, step by step. And even if you've never done this before, you'll be able to follow along because it's just going to be no code and the system is going to do everything, right? So So it's a recruitment agency that places sales and marketing people in tech companies. So whenever you hear, this is something you guys also can take, whenever you hear something like tech companies hiring, the best platform to find them is not going to be LinkedIn, actually, or like LinkedIn jobs. It's going to be a platform that's called Well-Found. Now, what is Well-Found, Saad? Well, Well-Found is a job platform focused on startups and tech companies. We can scrape it and scrape companies actively hiring for sales because these companies in this platform, Well-Found, actively post jobs. So we can find salary ranges, even like the hiring manager contacts. We can even get the job details. I'm going to show you guys everything. And unlike regular job boards like LinkedIn, it's startup focused. So you get to see the freshest startups that are hiring for tech roles. And boy, oh boy, since it's Q4, everyone is hiring and preparing for Q1, which is going to be in January. If you guys don't know, Q4 is right now, basically the end. I start off as September, October, November, and December. So everyone is hiring so they can like prepare for Q1, which is going to be in January 2026. Okay. And by the way, you should be preparing for Q1 right now. I already spoke about it. You should be, because a lot of companies are trying to scale, and this is exactly what we do. We build them systems that help them scale. How do they scale? By getting more customers and growing their revenue, their top of funnel. Okay, so we're gonna scrape Well-Found. Okay, so step one, scrape Well-Found, and we're gonna do it using Epify. Again, classic, right? Epify is basically like a marketplace for scrapers. Well-Found, there's like a Well-Found scraper that we're going to be using, and we're going to plug it to Ming.com. It's going to automate the entire stuff. Now, from Well-Found, we're going to get a bunch of things. We're going to get the hiring manager. Sometimes it could be like the GTM, right? And then what we're going to do is we essentially going to get the hiring manager, right? And enrich it, and we're going to enrich them by finding their email. Okay? Finding email. We're going to use this time. Let's use like another platform. Let's use Find Email. So to find email, we're going to use a platform called Find Email. Okay, which is a really good platform, by the way. I think I've shared this before. Okay, there's an email finder, Find Email, etc. And yeah, after that, we're going to get the system to generate like entire copies. So AI copies that don't sound like AI. Okay, because you guys already know me. We're all about building systems that generate copies at scale that don't sound AI, that sound human, just like you wrote them, like you literally specifically researched that company and you wrote that exact outreach message specifically for them. Okay, so this is like the outline of the system. Obviously, there's going to be like a couple things, right? Usually when you like build a system, you think it's like just 4 steps and usually like 10 steps. Sometimes it's the opposite. You think it's 10 steps and usually just 2. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare the system by going to Ming.com and kind of like just creating a new scenario here. It's going to be my playground here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Epify and I'm going to walk you through how it's going to work. It's very, very simple. So Epify here. So you want to type in Well-Found. Okay. If you guys are wondering, how did I know about Well-Found? Well, I was on a call with our hiring manager and they were like, well, what we do is we scan Well-Found and we look at like the companies, the tech companies hiring manually. And I was like, let me look for it in Epify. Boom, I just found it, right? And these like recruiters, hiring managers, they suck at getting customers, which is the reason why it's so easy to get a client within the recruitment niche. Like they need customers all the time, and their customers are basically a company hiring, right? Like I always say, but they don't know actually how to extract this, right? So I believe this is the one Well-Found scraper. Yeah, try for free. And all we got to do is essentially just go to Well-Found. So this is the platform. It's called Well-Found. You're going to notice is find what's next, where startups and job seekers connect. So you want to scroll down and you will see here, if we go to startup jobs, okay, so there's startup jobs, can go to view all jobs. Okay, and let me just pull the onboarding that he sent me for some context. When you like get a client to pay you, usually go through the onboarding phase or like the kickoff phase where you hop on a call 15 to 20 minutes and essentially you just gather the information, you just set the expectations, you define your availability. And so it's usually like a 15 to 20 minute call, okay, where you just go through like a form together and essentially you just answer all the questions within that form. So let me just pull the documents, and obviously I'm going to have to make a copy so I can kind of like blur the client's name, because obviously I can't really show the client's name on YouTube. So this is the client's onboarding doc. Obviously there's case studies here, etc. So like I said, they want targeted roles, account manager, sales executive. So the only thing you got to do is simply just go to show me and you put, for example, sales manager, right? And you're going to notice, so hiring in the United States. So there's like 2,000 jobs here. Gloss Genius is hiring, right? So they're hiring for a sales manager. And here's how much they get paid. $190K to $235K a year. Now, if the recruitment agency, aka his client, places just one candidate within this company, well, they're going to collect 20-30% off of that. So let's pick the middle ground number. Let's say $200K. So $200,000. Well, that's $40K. So that's $40,000 that they've made from an intro that the system is going to build, is going to facilitate for them. Okay? So if his system just generates one intro and they close it, that's $40,000. And that's how we can justify paying premium prices for like 8-10K, because that's nothing compared to the money they're going to be making in the back end. So that's why as a sales agency owner or like an operator, you get to pitch higher prices because they're making so much, like a shit ton of money on the back end, right? And that's why you get to command premium pricing, okay? So where do we go from here? Well, simply we're just going to copy this URL and plug it here. So you want to go to advanced, I believe it's bulk options. Okay, I already have my own research here. So you want to go to bulk options. So you want to copy this and then go to job page, paste this here. And then how many do we want? So outputs here, pagination options. So max pages. Let's put, for example, 5. Max job posts, let's just do 500, yeah. Okay, and then run options, I'll make sure it's no timeout, and I'm gonna click on save and start. So all I gotta do is just wait for the scraper to do its thing, right? While I am sipping my coffee right here. As always, you guys already know this about me. Probably I'm like 80%, people are 80% water, like the human body is like 80% water, probably 80% coffee. Okay, so if you go to the log, you will notice that there we go. Job listings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're essentially just getting the scrapers to do everything for us while we just sit here and enjoy the weather. And actually, it's getting colder right now where I'm from. Well, not where I'm from, where I live. I live in Cyprus. But where I'm from, I'm actually half Italian, half Moroccan. Shout out to any Moroccan or Italian that is watching this, right? So already got 42. Obviously, like the cool part is we already also get the logo. Very interesting. Ambient AI is hiring for what? Job published yesterday. So this is very, very fresh. So we're gonna get AI to say, hey, I noticed you I published a job yesterday, respecting this exact how do I say this? Respecting like the date format. For example, yesterday, they're gonna be say yesterday. 2 days ago, 2 days ago, right? If it's 3 days, 3 days ago. The job title gotta be clean too. For example, saw you hiring. We're gonna get the system to write with all the AI within the system to write, hey X, saw you are hiring, or saw you posted a job yesterday for a regional sales manager, right? It's gonna be clean because this is too long. Or like we can say, hey X, saw you posted a job for a regional sales manager yesterday in what? Seattle. See how it's personalized, right? So we're gonna use just one prompt and the system is gonna do everything, right? So let's go to companies and see. So we get everything here. Let's go to all fields. Oh, we got the hiring contact. This is what I told you. Nicole Karina or Serena. This is the hiring contact, the actual person who posted the job. Oh yeah, there we go. I think we found it. Recruiter, sales and GTM at Ambient AI. What is this Ambient AI? Curious. So this is like the lady. Oops, not Versal. This is the lady who posted this. Ambient AI. AI for simplified automated security. The texts, wow. They have TikTok. They have Adobe. That's crazy. Detects threats in real time, auto clear, as far as alarms, accelerates, investigated with AI power, physical security software. I like this video that they recorded here. But yeah. So they are hiring. So all we got to do is wait. The reason why I stopped at 200 is because I believe in the search. Yeah, because there's only what? Oh, you know why? Is because in this 5 pages, there's only 200. So what we got to do is we're going to put, for example, here, how many pages do we want? So we want 35. So we got to put 35 here. But obviously, you do not need like 2,000 jobs. You only need like what? 700. But yeah, I'm just gonna use this right now. I'm gonna use this 215 to kind of like just build the system. Obviously, if you want to increase more job postings, job listings, you just include more and you just put all the pages that you want. Okay, that's how you run it. Now, all I gotta do right now is go to storage, and you see this data set ID. This is where the data is. This is where I'm gonna find all the outputs, or like, i.e., the job listings or companies that are hiring that I scraped using this scraper in Epify. So all I gotta do is go to here, and then I'm simply, you see this little mustache they added? I believe it's because of Halloween, right? It's very cute. So I'm gonna go to Epify. I'm gonna go to get data set items. Okay. And all I gotta do right now is go to settings. I'm gonna show you how to authenticate, because you might not have the same interface or like the same module. You want to copy this default API token. I want to go to add, go to connection type, Epify API token, and I want to paste this here. Sweet. Now you want to go back to your scraper. You want to go back to your data set. And all you got to do is go to storage, copy your data set ID. Again, go to data set and put it here. In terms of the limit, just put 1. All right, run once. You want to get everything here. So once you get this, you will see that we get the job benefits, the job description, we get the company. We didn't get like total money raised. It raised 52 millions. Insane. So let's just name this well found data. Okay, what comes after this? Well, we need to find their emails. So we're going to use a platform called Find Email. Okay, so Find Email is really good. It's kind of like an email finder. If you wonder how much it costs, well, it's usually around like $49. Yes. So you get API access, you get 1,000 Finder credits. I don't like how they spoon feed people like 1,000 credits, right? Like, come on, like you guys can absolutely like put 5,000 here, but you know, I actually like was paying them a lot of money, them and an email finder, but mostly an email finder. If you guys don't know, an email finder is pretty good, right? But it's very expensive, which is the reason why I came up with my own platform, which is SSM Masters. Essentially, like members get to find and verify contacts at scale, because you need email enrichment platforms to find emails and find contacts of people, right? And I said, starting a sales agency shouldn't break the bank. You don't need bloated tools or overpriced subs. Build smart, spend less, and scale fast, right? So I don't like how they spoon feed people like 1,000 credits, right? In reality, you need a lot in order for you to scale. Obviously, you don't need like you're not gonna need just 1,000. You need a lot. So what I've done is I came up with my own one. It's basically like whenever someone like needs more, I essentially just adds like 20, 30K. And I'm very generous when it comes to this, obviously because they need it to scale. But yeah, I'm gonna show you how to use it because I'm assuming you guys don't have the SSM Masters, but it's totally the same thing, right? So I'm just gonna log in. I already have like an account here. I have like a couple credits, I believe. And then all you gotta do is you want to go to create API token. So let's name it Filament. Filament is an archetype of Carl Jung, by the way. Filament is like Filament is by the way the name of a magician, right? In the Red Book, which is a book written by Carl Gustav Jung, the greatest psychologist of all time. He would essentially just talk with this filament in his active imagination, right? And basically filament was like an archetype for him. He would give him wisdom, etc. Right? All in his mind. Very interesting. So you want to go to find email here, not verify an email. Find an email. Find email first. And find an email from a name and domain. You want to go to add, save this here, and then save. Done. So the full name is the hiring contact that we have here, hiring contact, and the website is website. I believe it's URL. Yeah, it's URL. Ambient AI. Now we gotta add a filter here only if the hiring contact exists. So hiring contact exists, question mark, and exists. Okay, the reason why is because if we go here, you will notice that some of the records don't have the hiring manager, but I would say 90%, like check this out, like 90% we have the hiring contact. That's absolutely insane, right? Like you get to find the hiring manager, the hiring contact experience, even 7 years. And the cool part about this enrichment platform is it also gives you something. Check this out. So we found the email, it's pretty quick. I believe they already had this in their database. Let me put you guys on game. You guys don't know, these email enrichment platform, and this is something that we do too in our platform to SSM Masters. When you find, like when an enrichment platform finds an email, they add it to a database. So instead of trying to query the API and call that API and try to find the email again, it's already there because they already tried and found it. So what they do is they just validate it. They only check now where it actually exists. Now, how do they do this? They have like an SMTP server that kind of like does a handshake. And they send a message to that email. If the email says, hey, I exist, well, it outputs valid. See? And this is something that we do too, right? Totally like normal in this enrichment like platforms. They all do this, right? They kind of like just store this in like a database so they don't have to like waste tokens or like costs in terms of like the API calls, right? So we got the person's name, we got the email, the domain, the LinkedIn URL of the person, the job title, principal recruiter, sales and GTM recruiting. Even where she lives. Pretty creepy. Redwood City, California, Denver. Yeah, this intelligence that we have nowadays is absolutely insane. It's only going to get better, right? Like we're going to be able to find contacts, find leads, find prospects in like one click. So it's going to be find email. Sweet. So now what comes after this is basically just generating an entire copy that does everything for us. Okay. So I'm going to go to Azure. Obviously you can use any AI model you want. And I'm going to put myself in here because obviously when I get to this point when there's like multiple modules, you guys can't see anything. And I don't like that. I want you guys to have the best viewer experience, right? So I'm going to go to OpenAI here. I'm going to put GPT-4o. Obviously you can use any AI model that you want. Reason why I use Azure because it's extremely fast, it's lightning fast, it's cheap, and I have like a bunch of credits in there. I believe like I have like 20K there. Just because I use it routinely within my agency. Like AI is something that I use every single day routinely. Like I always have like a playground open, right? So I'm going to share with you guys the prompt that I'm going to be using. You can absolutely just copy it and replicate it. And here is the prompt. You must return exactly this format. Saw company name, just post for a job title, and then we have like a timing plus growth signal. Now this prompt is basically built on the psychology of what I like to call the anti-fragile method. So what I've noticed is that AI is very bad at writing outreach copies, entire outreach copies, but it's really good at writing within constrained variables, which are like placeholders that you see. So when you give AI like a logic of like how you want like an output to be, and you train it based off a perfect output, it usually gives you really good outputs. Another thing is you tell AI to identify as a persona, usually gives you better outputs. Okay, so you essentially just give it like a placeholder prompt and you say, hey, generate a statement similar to, and you give it rules, keep it conversational. You get to like say, hey, timing yesterday or this week, growth signal, simple observation about scaling and growth, department, sales, marketing, engineer level, senior executive, high level. Keep it conversational, not corporate. Timing yesterday or this week. Growth signal, right? Department, sales, senior executive, high level. And you give it like a perfect example. For example, saw X AI or like ambient AI just posted for like a regional sales manager yesterday. You guys are clearly scaling the team, the sales team aggressively. And then we have in kind of like this remaining. So all we got to do, and let me check if I'm recording. Yes, I am. All we got to do, this beautiful sun that just came. So we got to put in the job title. So this is the job title. Job published, or like job date, which is going to be yesterday that we have here, job posted. And then what do we get? So we plugged in the company name, the job title, posted, and also the funding, right? For AI, for more context. Now, I'm going to have to put like a filter here. So only if email exists. Email exists and valid? Question mark. And then we want to save and run once. So check this out. Saw ambient AI. Let me zoom in. Just posted for a regional sales manager yesterday. You guys are clearly scaling the sales team aggressively. Are you handling all the sales recruitment internally or open to a specialist support for these senior roles? Let's check the second one by offsetting. Offsetting just means skipping the first record and going straight to the second one. Found the email again. Saw Navigus posted for a sales manager software this week. You guys are clearly scaling the sales team aggressively. Are you handling all the sales recruitment internally or open to a specialist recruiter for these types of roles? Okay, so let's offset the second. We're going to get the third record again. So we found this again. Really good. Saw Ashby just posted for an events marketing manager this week. Looks like the marketing team is gearing up for some exciting growth. Now think about it. This is AI, right? Most people we see online on like LinkedIn or like these gurus, they show you like these crazy prompts or like personalizations, but in reality, they don't know how to actually do it systematically. Like they have no idea how to like prompt engineer, right? But since you are watching this, you're able to kind of like just see it from the source, from someone who's actually doing this every single day for their clients and their own systematic outreach when they are building these sort of systems or like selling these sort of systems, okay? So you get to build like a system that actually delivers value, right? When a client sees this and you show them the system like in Make or like N810, they're like, holy shit, you are a wizard, Harry, right? So let's just name this. Anti-fragile method. Okay, this is like the method where you feed AI like a prompt and you give it rules. So now what comes after this? Well, we need to go to tools, set variable, and we're gonna basically just continue the copy. So hey, and then we're gonna have to add the name of the person by splitting. So you're gonna use a make formula. So split based off a space. Okay, just follow along and then get 1. And then we're going to add a dash just for the aesthetic purposes. And we're going to add this here. And then we're going to say, I'm connected with X hiring, basically his clients. They recently helped an LA marketing agency fill 3 executive roles by delivering multiple qualified finalists per position instead of just one candidate. Worth a quick intro. Okay, so let's just put 1 here. And you're going to see the end results. Done. So, hey, Nicole, saw ambient AI just posted for a regional sales manager yesterday. You guys are clearly scaling the sales team aggressively. Are you handling all the sales and recruitment internally or open to a specialist support for these types of roles? So there we go. Everything is good. I'm going to remove like a new line here. And then I'm going to name this Dream Outreach. Okay, now the last step is basically plugging everything to Instantly, right? Which is going to be the cold email software. I'm going to go to login. I'm going to create a new campaign here. I'm going to name this 1K setup plus 3K retainer. Okay, now all I got to do is go to Instantly. And then I'm going to go to Instantly here. I'm going to create a lead. Okay, and if you wonder how to authenticate, you want to click on Add. I'm going to go to Settings. And then you want to go to Integrations. API keys, and it's going to be version 2. So let's just name this, for example, right? And it's going to be scopes all, okay? All. And you want to create. There we go. This is your API key. Everyone has their own API key. And then you want to paste this here and save. So now you can authenticate using Make and access everything that you want from Make and basically manipulate instantly. You want to go to campaign ID. And all you got to do is just wait a little bit as Make it just fetches all the sales campaigns here. And then this is going to be 1K setup. Okay. So the email is obviously email. Personalization is the entire copy. Website is domain. Domain. And then you want to add HTTP. And then the last name. So split again. Based off a space. And then again, get 2 because now we get in the last name. And then here we're going to get 1. Company name is going to be already company name that we already have. And then that's pretty much it. Done. All right. So all we got to do right now is basically just run this for like 10. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this auto align. I'm going to go to flow control. I'm going to add a break here. Another one here. And then auto align and save. Now I'm going to save anyway, and I'm going to go to allow storing of incomplete executions. The reason why is because sometimes we'll get rate limited with like find email or like instantly. Gonna add 1 here, 1 minute. Gonna run once. Done. So as you can see, everything is going very quickly. All right. Let's go back here. Awesome. So all I gotta do is go to sequences. For the subject line, I'm gonna add intro, just question mark. That's it. I'm gonna add another question mark. I'm gonna add personalization. Let me just save this so I can refresh. And let's see, that was very quick, as you guys can see. So very, very quick. So you can build this like in 15 minutes and you're good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add send from my iPhone. Obviously, it's like my little hack. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you essentially just build a system that scrapes well found, enriches, finds the contacts, and generate a dream outreach. As you can see, it's not going to waste a lot of make.com operations because this is very, very like minimalistic, but at the same time, it's high ROI, which is the reason why I always say build and sell systems that actually deliver value. As you can see, when you show this to like a client, like there's only a couple like modules here, and just one module handles everything. So it's kind of like not wasting movements, kind of like a master of like Kung Fu. They're not wasting movements, right? Everything that they do has to make sense, right? Or like a chef, like for example, like an Asian chef that cooks fried rice. I love fried rice, by the way. Like they're not wasting, there's no unnecessary movements. We can apply the same thing. You guys already know this about me. I take big ideas from other things like big disciplines and I apply this to my business, which is something that you guys should probably do too, because it really does help when it comes to scale, becoming successful and becoming wise and developed in all sorts of life, right? Not just money, but also wisdom and knowledge, right? So when you apply this to, again, building systems in Make or like NA10, you get to strip out all the bullshit modules that you don't need, okay? And you just save operations and you deliver value. So that's how we build the system. Hopefully you guys found value in this one. I'm going to leave you with the blueprint and description like always. And like I always say, get out there, take action. I believe in you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.